Let me change the settings.
There is no blurring on Discord. I can't find where I can blur myself.
I guess the echo is gone now, right?
Let me test. Yeah, it's gone. And yes, there is a blur option, Ruben.
I don't know where you find it.
On the little arrow on the video icon and change video background.
I don't have that. It's probably not available on Linux. Anyway, it's okay.
Let me send a message to the community.
Where did Teams go? Oh, here. Do you see my Teams window now?
Yes.
No.
No?
I see Discord.
Huh. I selected to share my whole screen. Okay.
Nice sweater, Ruben.
Yeah, I'm very corporate.
Share entire screen. Okay. Discord changed behavior, by the way. I don't know if you saw that, but the share entire screen is now on the top right.
Okay. So we have
now, can you see my
every
window?
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I guess we can start. Just to be sure. No, it's good.
Yeah, let's start.
Why is it written SQS Trigger on the top left?
I don't know.
Dieriba,
I think it's my bad. Well, I write it. I didn't know that you will do something like that.
But why did you write this now?
I guess you started the stage, or I guess you started.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been worse, so it's okay.
Anyway, let's start. Can you start everything?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I guess tell people and everything they'll start.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's done.
Okay, so wait a few minutes and then we'll start for real.
Yeah, and we are live on YouTube.
Great. So I guess while we wait, I can just give a bit of context. Last 2 weeks have been very busy because we've done a big migration of the job format we use in the database. The format was one that we've used for 2 years. I designed it 2 years ago when Windmill was not what it is today. And there's some things I learned along the way that we couldn't really change because we wanted to keep back compatibility. And as you can see, changing job format and the database migration is a bit painful for everyone. So we decided we were going to wait and do the migration in one go when we had all the pieces we wanted to improve, which is what we did. We also wanted to make sure that we did it in a safe way because there are actually lots of people using Windmill, a lot of people using Windmill in production. So we wanted to make sure to have all the guarantee that we were not going to have anyone lose any data or be stuck while doing the migration, especially people that are using Windmill in a production setting where they can do rollout. We wanted to make sure that, as long as they can do a rollout, they can ensure they have no downtime. So there's a few mistakes in the way we did things. And also a few things that basically we had a few bugs that were from before we had done the migration, but that we only realized when we did the migration. So we had to rush a few things. And but in the end, I think this week with all the fixes we did, I'm very confident with the state of things. And there's a reason why we did this improvement. It's actually going to allow us to increase much further the performance and the feature that we are currently offer on Windmill. And we have all the field that we want. It has the right structure. One of the things that basically was very painful is for people that are not aware of how updates work in Postgres. Updates actually are not updating inline the rows. They're actually creating new rows with the new elements and keeping the old rows to delete. But if you're updating very frequently the rows like we do when we do flow status updates, then it becomes very painful because the rows are start being very large. It accumulates a lot of dead tuples and put a lot of pressure on the database. We much better split the schema to basically have tables that are split alongside their frequency update and how large they are. And now we are very confident in the ability to keep this model for the future. It was an interesting bug that we fixed recently. To tell you about all the complexities, the tidbits that might be interesting. So to ensure the maximum back compatibility and no downtime, we basically kept the old format and the new format at the same time. And they were kept at the same time by using Postgres triggers, which basically while we had this migration period, we had both the old and the new format. The issue with it is that it actually creates some additional locks which don't work very well with parallel flows, which are basically have some requirements on how the rows are locked. And keeping the old and the new row together was incompatible with the way we ensure atomicity for parallel flows. So the update that we did at the end of this week removed the back compatibility. We've done enough tests that we think that there's no need to keep the back compatibility. And it fixed a few bugs as well, the one I mentioned around parallelism as a result. Yeah, I think it's enough of story around migration, and I will leave the mic to Alex to talk about some exciting Microsoft Teams feature.
All right. Yeah, as Ruben mentioned, one of the things that was released, I think also part of the release yesterday, was support for Microsoft Teams as workspace handler script, and also scripts that basically work as error handlers, success handlers, and recovery handlers. I'm gonna share my screen to show you those settings. So in your workspace settings, now you'll see that this tab is no longer just called Slack commands, but Slack/Teams. And if you are on Enterprise, you'll have these two tabs where you can actually connect to a specific team in Teams. This requires you to have it set up in OAuth. And once you connected it, let me switch to a workspace where I don't have it. You can actually find a drop down of all teams that are not yet assigned. So basically the rule is you can connect one team per workspace, because otherwise you don't know where to send the command, which workspace to handle the command with. Then you can assign either a flow or a script to handle windmill commands. So as an example, here, if I type a command like @windmill, it will trigger a script, the script that I defined here, and tell me the job is launched, and with the success, it returns the result of the command. We can also see that here, actually, I have a success handler for scripts for a specific schedule. So you can also use those for schedules, and basically here you see an example of a success handler. I might have run too many of those, but the same way you'll find error handlers where you'll get the error message, and recovery handlers for your scripts. So those you can define in the error handler section, you can basically choose which channel you want to post them to, and send test messages. The same way you can do it with schedules. So if you go to a schedule, this one, for example, you can set it to a specific flow in case of failure, success, and recovery. So down here, you see the different types of handlers you can define. And again, selecting a Teams channel where it should send the errors. That's it from the team side. There, as a next step, we'll work on approvals. So as we do it with Slack, you can have interrupts in your flows, suspends and resumes with payload. So we want to have the same basically feature parity between Slack and Teams. Other than that, one thing that is close to being merged is the ability to authenticate to your Git sync. I don't have it in this current branch I'm working on locally, but in your Git sync settings, if you have a private repo, it basically requires you currently to use your private or personal access token as part of the resource you're using. So when you have a Git resource, the URL actually contains your token, which is a personal access token, and it's not from a security standpoint, it's not always ideal. So what I did is to add a flag where you can basically switch to authentication using a GitHub app. So instead of using your long-lived personal access token, each time you do a git sync and you clone the repo, it will do that with an installation token that is short-lived from the app installation, and you can easily revoke the app by just removing the app from your GitHub account, and that way things will be more secure, let's say, on the Windmill side. So this one is currently under review and will probably come relatively soon. And yeah, that's it from my side. Hugo, do you want to go next?
Actually, I'm having a bit of issues on my local setup, so maybe Dieriba, do you want to go first?
I don't know if you're trying to talk, but you're muted. Or having technical issues as well.
Well, I guess, Henri, do you have something to talk about?
I can go, but I will spare you 20 seconds. But yeah, on my side, as you know, I'm working mostly on like internal topics. But for like the community, in a matter of hours, we should be available on AWS Marketplace. So now you can subscribe to Windmill Enterprise Editions through AWS, which can help a lot for like procurement processes. So that's my latest news for like the community. And now whoever is ready between Hugo and Dieriba, you can go.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, you can
So
go.
basically, I was working on the new feature, which is trigger script flow from SQS. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. And here's a panel where you can create a new SQS trigger, which is basically will trigger script or flow from SQS service from AWS. And I'm going to show you how to create a script. You can either pick new script that you've created or create one from the template we have here. Just waiting for the script to load. And here you can use the preprocessor to pass argument from the script. There is additional metadata that are sent that you can retrieve. And for example, there's already a script that I've created, which is here. And this script basically shows the message and message attributes. And then I'm going to create a script right there. Choose this one, the resource, the queue URL, which is needed to create the script, which is here. And then the message attribute that I want to get back from the queue, if there are some. In this example, I have put one message attribute, which is customer ID at the value 8, which is a string. And I'm going to first save the script. It's going to load. You just have to wait. Okay, it's connected. I'm just going to go there and I'm going to send the message right now. New message from me with that customer ID. Send message. And you can see that the script is here, but message attribute has not been sent because I did not put a message attribute. I can either write the name of the message attribute or take all attribute from the message. So whenever I put another attribute, it will be retrieved too. So I'll be all, waiting again. And this time, I'm going to send it right now. Did I run it? I didn't send it. Oh, okay, it's there. And you can see customer ID and the string and the value. It was already launched. And that's all for me.
Super cool. We do have lots of customer using SQS, and also we also added more PubSub, and we have one more that is planned, which is MQTT. But now we're already managing Kafka, NATS, SQS Triggers, and the overall goal is to make Windmill able to connect to all your existing event publishers without having to do complex sync with webhooks and so on. So basically just install Windmill, deploy it, and then you can already connect it to all of your existing event creators. There was some question in the chat if basically now that we are integrated with queue system, why not use those queue systems internally for the work, the job distributions? There is only one that would be a good fit, which is NATS, because of its high efficiency nature. But the scheme that we're currently using on Postgres is extremely efficient. So it's not like you would really gain much by using another system, and it has the advantage of simplicity. We haven't leveraged everything we can yet on top of the current system. But yeah, another direction it would have been to use NATS. But right now, the limits is really not the queue in the Windmill system. There is a lot more that we can leverage and explore before we hit the limit of the queue. We believe we can confidently go toward 20,000 jobs per second on a single instance if we optimize everything. And then there is always a possibility of sharding because, and so really the Postgres queue is not going to be the bottleneck for us. We'll hit many more bottlenecks before we can hit 20,000 jobs per second, probably the capacity of the worker first. Hugo, are you ready?
Yeah, I mean, I'll show what I want, but it doesn't work completely. I don't know why. I'll need to fix the bug afterwards. Anyway, let me share my screen. All right, can you see it? Yeah, I think so. So basically, we've added another option to HTTP triggers. Now, instead of choosing a runnable or like a specific asset on S3, sorry, you can basically drag and drop a complete folder. So I don't think you're seeing this part of my screen, but let me drag and drop a folder, which in this case is a static website. And once I publish this trigger, it will basically serve at this endpoint and also like an all subpath behind it. And it will serve the website, and you can actually access it using this path. So let me go to there. So here we see that I'm having a bunch of issues, but basically should load all the CSS and everything as it should. And the only thing you need to make sure is that when you generate your static website, that it knows it needs to take into account the actual subpath it will be at. Otherwise, the relative links won't work. But yeah, that's basically it from my side, and I'll publish a fix as soon as I found it.
Cool. Yeah, we don't intend Windmill to become a hosting platform, but we had the feedback that a few customers, basically, it was just very convenient for them to centralize a few of their static sites on Windmill. So it's not much to add on top of our existing S3 infrastructure. So we thought, why not? But yes, it's not. There is a lot more efficient than using Windmill as a static hosting website. The first one is to use directly S3 with a reverse proxy. But yeah, this is a great. If you're already within a system with high compliance in which you have authorized Windmill and you've given the proper permission and everything, it's a very convenient way to deploy small static websites. I think this is all for this week. If you have questions, let us know. And yeah, I mean, I don't have big announcements to make yet, but everything is going very well for Windmill as a company, and we're hiring. So if you know anyone that is looking to join a company working on very hard problems and already has a wide audience and where you can have an impact very quick, then tell them to apply. So we'll take questions now if there are any. And there was one which is our SQS Triggers EE. Yeah, they are EE. We're going to do MQTT as a community edition, but SQS is very much something that you would do in an enterprise. So we thought it was way more relevant for EE. And yeah, there was a good suggestion about using the SQS subscription filter and be able to configure them directly in Windmill. I mean, Dieriba would know better, but that seems like a good suggestion. Okay, then if there is no other questions, everyone have a great week and a great weekend, and see you next week.
See ya.
Bye.